Hello. Yeah, I was just thinking about something. Um, this is really kind of strange but I guess it shows this side of my nature that hasn't really come to, ex- let's say, expression, if I can put it that way, whatever I can. Sometimes it's so hard, to explain what you really want to say. And but yes, I am a needy guy, right? I understand. I realize it, but I didn't realize it until I really started communicating with people a lot on the internet. Yes, I need to be acknowledged, and I need affirmation. I need to be noticed and seen in that way. And when I'm not, I don't feel good. Yes. And why is that? Well, it comes back, of course, like all these, you know, let's say psychological and emotional issues. It stems from my childhood. Childhood, yes. But I wanted to explain myself so you can maybe, some of you will understand me better why I have reacted sometimes to people not acknowledging me in a chat, for instance, in some stream or something like that. For you, it's not a big deal. Anybody who is not a needy person, and I wish I was like you. I really, envy you that you are not needy. I mean, let's face it. In today's society, many people are needy, but not everybody will admit that they are needy. That's for sure. And yeah, so anyway, I when I was a child, I had a big brother, and he was an amusing character, and so whenever we had guests, he would be like doing his own routine, like almost like a stand-up comedian. He had a really good sense of humor, and yeah, he was just entertaining, really entertaining. And I thought so as well. He made me laugh, really. I mean, like in stitches with laughter. But that made everybody focus on him, you know. And I felt overlooked. I felt not seen, you know. I didn't feel seen. I mean, everybody was like just tapping on the head. Yeah, cute child, cute boy, and that's all. But my brother was the one getting all the compliments, like getting, sorry, all the attention. Understandably so, but it had this effect on me that I felt, overlooked, as I said. And I mean, even people, it went so far that actually he was so, let's say, famous, locally famous or popular, that even sometimes people mistook me for him or called me by his name, because everybody had heard of him, I mean, everybody in the neighborhood, but, only my closest friends and those who lived in our building and stuff, they knew me by my name, but many others didn't. So yeah, that gives you a feeling, like, yeah, not a good feeling, right? Even though it is kind of common for, how do you call it, a little brother, baby brother, be a little bit overshadowed in the shadow of his big brother, especially as kids and teenagers. And so, but yeah, and in addition to that, he was also sick as a child, quite seriously for a while, and that made also that my parents focus a lot of their attention on him also. So that's another thing. Even though I'm not gonna say they didn't give me enough attention, but he got more attention definitely because of this illness. And yeah, so that's how it went. But I'm not, gonna like, not don't think that I'm being too good to myself, but I am kind of also a modest person. Actually, I always was a modest person, and because of that, also, modest people also have a hard time getting noticed, by many people. They have a hard time getting attention because they don't crave attention. I was modest, I was shy, and yeah, he was not. Neither of those things. We were just complete opposites, and in many ways. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, modest people have a hard time, and especially if they're. But it usually goes together, being modest and being shy. Usually, you are both. If you one thing, you are also the other, at least to an extent. And yeah, um, so that all just made me feel kind of inadequate, and also kind of made me even afraid to sometimes take chances. Like, I mean, to some like sports, for instance, when you gotta like show yourself, and show your worth, to put it away. I would sometimes just shrink from a challenge. I would shrink from challenges. Sometimes I would stand up to them. That felt great, but not that often, really. Yeah, I believe my fondest memory was when I was gonna, had in the gym, gym class, we had this sort of basketball test where had to like, dunk, show everybody how to dunk, in front of the rest of the class. And at first, I didn't think I would, manage to do it. But then I suddenly, something grabbed me, some kind of confidence, wind. And I just started, rushing towards you know, the post, the bat, how do you call it? And I just, I don't know how, but I got the ball in, and everybody, applauded. That was a great moment, of course. But unfortunately, there were a few such moments in my childhood and youth that, yeah, that could have made me feel like a little more, well, give me some sort of affirmation as a boy, as a male, and feel like, yeah, now I'm my own, I'm my own person, I'm my own guy, and no longer in my big brother's shadow. And yeah, so yeah, it's hard when you are. But yeah, as I said, I didn't know that I was so needy until I started really communicating. Because before COVID, I didn't really communicate that much with people. I had some Facebook friends, but we didn't really, there were just a couple of ones that I really communicated with, like for real, like, that talked to like often and stuff, messaged each other and stuff. But then in 2021, I joined this group on Telegram, and then in 22 I joined Fracon for the first time, my first channel there. And then, slowly I started, sorry, communicating more with people. However, I found out I didn't always enjoy that experience. I also found that out when I was in Telegram. We had this guy that we all followed in that group. and he had his own channel, he had his own live streams, and I would feel great whenever he would answer my questions and my messages. But whenever he didn't see them for whatever reason, I felt really like, angry and frustrated, and I wondered why, but I just couldn't help feeling like that, like. So that's again that feeling of being overlooked. You can, even though he just may have answered something that I asked him, but if he didn't answer my next question, I would feel, you know, feel bad, and feel frustrated and angry and stuff. So yeah, I hated that feeling. But that repeated again in Fracom, happened again. So yeah, it's just hard to deal with. And it's just only later that you see, that yeah, maybe I am the one. After having fallen out with several people, maybe that makes you realize, yeah, maybe I'm the one also who is to blame, because I cannot stand being not seen, to put it that way. And especially one thing I don't get really, there are people who, you know, they know you, right? They know you for a year or so, or a little less maybe. Some may know you even longer, and then you come somewhere to the chat and you say hello, and they don't say hello back, but you see them say hello to somebody else, and then like, all right, what's going on? It really pisses you off, right? But yeah, I mean, people think that whenever I complain about that in somewhere else, I was like met with not much sympathy or understanding. But I don't think that's unreasonable, even though maybe it's one should not make too much of a fuss out of that. But however, I think there should be some kind of certain rules of behavior, like certain etiquette. Yeah, definitely. That if somebody says hello to you first, you should always say hello back. Maybe sometimes it happens that people don't see those messages, then you can repeat it. But if even after it has happened, after I repeat it, still no reply. So because of that, I had already a falling out earlier this year with one guy. Then later also I had a not a really falling out, but it made me kind of like less a couple of other guys, let's put it that way. And yeah, the problem is that if you are a nice guy, right, you're a friendly guy, like I think I am, but don't expect that everybody will be. And if you see that people don't say hello back more than once, that's it. Don't say hello. At least, if not cut them out completely, then don't say hello anyway. That's for sure. Don't give them that honor, because people who don't always say hello back, they don't deserve that respect that you give them, because you are giving. It's not the people. People like to trivialize it, but it's not a. It is about respect. People, after all, it's not a tiny insignificant thing. May seem that to you, but it's not. Where I come from, it means something. Right? Means a lot. I don't know about America or UK, whatever. Maybe it looks like to me many people over there need to be taught a lesson in how to behave properly. Yeah, I would say so. And yeah, America especially, but I'm not gonna shit on countries now. But anyway, there are there there are definitely differences, especially between where I come from, Southeast Europe, and Western, more, let's say, the West and the Northern Europe. Yeah, I mean, but usually, let's say, I think what these people, all these that I have experienced this with, are actually from United States. That's something I can say. So they have a problem with that. Yeah, they don't have always. They are not taught proper etiquette or behavior always. That's the problem. But back to my original topic. Being needy is hard, and it can make you become unpopular. And people don't always understand you, are not willing to either. They just feel you are being a crybaby, or you're being, egoistic or whatever. But it's not about that. It is a feeling. It is like having this, wound here and here that just, is there constantly. But when you are good to me, that wound doesn't hurt. But when you don't say hello, for instance, you don't acknowledge me, that wound starts to, hurt. It festers. So, and then, I just can get very emotional. And maybe that's why I have decided anyway to be less on these streams from now on. Maybe even cut them out completely, I don't know. Because I have experienced bad behavior from several people towards me and others also. Several streamers, lack of understanding or empathy or whatever. And yeah, and they call you the drama queen, whatever. That's even worse. That's just despicable, But let them do that. You know you are better than them. Trust me. See you. Bye.